Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Always Smiling Faces podcast on the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel, part of the 90-Minute Football Network, and sponsored by
Bestie. Who was sponsored by? This'll test whether he's listened to anything.
There's a USB socket on the back of the camera. That's
It's
not
fine.
plugged in. Is that okay?
It's fine.
Seem deflecting there. Deflecting.
It's
Trying to...
PT for you, isn't it?
Yes.
www.pt-u.co.uk.
Yeah, I'm sure you can tell I've been using it.
Well done, son. Well done.
Put about 3 store on this last week.
So, people that are just listening to audio, you'll probably already realise Bestie's back.
I'm back.
He's back.
Guess who's back?
I was going to go for the
Back
take that
again.
option, to be honest.
Back for good.
Yeah.
A bit ambitious, like, but you know.
I thought you meant babe.
Back for a bit.
Babe. I'm here
What kind of
again.
harmonised it?
Yeah,
that was pretty nice. That like that was
You
pretty
did. So, Bestie's back. Bestie, you had a good time off.
I'm knackered.
Players.
I'm knackered, and this is the first time in about 6 weeks that I haven't had sick on it somewhere.
I thought you were going to say worn a shirt.
That as well, to be honest with you. Like, I've turned
Might be
into-
breastfeeding.
you had a go earlier on, like, so we're bottle feeding him, and he had a good. You tried to get a latch on earlier on, like, so I had to wear. I had to give it a
Slip into something a bit more cover up.
Little dig in the ribs and say, look, no.
Yeah, so paternity's over. Bestie's back. Decker's not well. In fact, no, it's Decker's last. That's not
Decker's
very
on.
well.
Yeah.
So Decker's playing nurse tonight.
Get me dressed up. I'll dress up for the guys.
Decker would 100% dress up like a nurse. Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, he does on the weekend anyway. But we're here for the important things. We are here to talk about Newcastle United, as usual. So,
Yay.
Matty's here as well. Sorry, everybody. Matty just bought the furniture now.
Hi, Matty.
Yeah.
Welcome back again.
Yeah, number 5.
Just part of the furniture. So, Matty, I'm going to start with you this week. I know we start with Dagger, but I'll start with you. So, Newcastle United won. Leeds United won.
Yeah.
Build up to the game. Were you expecting much apart from getting pissed?
No, I needed to get pissed, and I think the first half proves why I needed to get pissed. Yeah, I just got very drunk and just waited for the inevitable. And in the first 10 minutes, I thought the inevitable was happening. Inevitable, for me to say, was happening. It was dog shit, and it just it was what I expected. But thankfully, it didn't end up in
Wesk.
the scenario, I guess.
Do me a favour. Go and check Matty's mic. He's mic number 1. See if it's muted. Darryl said that Matty's muted. He shouldn't be. Everything should be fine. If it is, we'll address it. Bestie.
Hiya.
Were you at the game?
No.
How many games have you missed so far?
All of them except for one. I was at the West Ham game because I happened to be. Amy was in the RVI still at the time, so I just managed to kind of nick off for an hour, go to the match, get a hard time from a rival entertainer, and then enjoyed that. So yeah, I've missed them all for various reasons. Friday night, I just didn't fancy it. To be honest with you, I'm just not that. I mean, like, you've got 2 lads, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Mark's got with 15 kids, 4 or 5 grandkids.
That he knows of.
What? I've got 2.
I think you have 3.
No, 2. One of each.
That you know of, eh?
That I know of.
Yeah. But
Noises.
But no, I don't know how. I went out last night and I've just got the fear all day, thinking I've got 2 kids to take. One of them's been in nursery all day, and I'm like, how did
Was it not BF?
with more than? Oh yeah, it was. I had a nice time last night, but like, I just don't get how people with more than one kid can kind of do anything except for look after the kids.
That's life now, mate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you, but that is life.
You know, wait a few more years and they can start actually looking after themselves a little bit. And then
I'll
you
be hand myself now.
can get your life back a bit.
Mark hasn't seen his in 2 years. Just leaves them in the house.
I wish.
But right,
Are you old enough to drink that? But
I am just.
Oh, he's
just gonna go, isn't
he's definitely been drinking it.
Everybody that is listening, just give it a thumbs up if Matty's working. I think it's working. What I can hear, it is working now.
Noises.
I think maybe we just didn't plug it in, to be honest with you.
It was all right over there on the mixer and stuff.
So we were out early for the match.
Oh yes,
I think we were more looking forward to the event, as in going out, than what we were for the match. As usual, when it's a late kickoff, you tend to find yourself not wanting to leave the pub, especially when you're expecting such a shit show. And it feels like there's a magnet repelling you from St James's Park. You take 10 steps and you walk past a pub and thinking, shall we just go in there?
It's just one of them when you're out a couple of hours. Well, I'll say a couple of hours, several hours before the game starts, and it was quite a nice night as well, wasn't it? Outside in the sunshine, having a few beverages, and one thing leads to another, and you just think, well, shall we sack it off and just stay here all night?
It looked from what I saw like you all had a lovely time.
Yeah,
we were absolutely mortal.
Well, I decided to stay clear. I give
of
my,
us or the
I give,
ground?
I give
Probably a
I
wise
give,
decision.
I give my 2 tickets to 2 of the Gallowgateshots parish, and decided to go. My dad hasn't been going to the games, so I decided to go back to.
Has he not been at any this season?
Yeah. It's half. I think it's half. Can't be asked to come up and sit through it, but I think it's like I still think he's a bit, about the big crowds and stuff. I know a few people who are like in the 60s, 70s.
Has he been to St James's Park recently?
Yeah, there's plenty of space in one of the corners for him. But I just decided to just start drinking as soon as I finished work, and then went back to Hartlepool and watched it in a pub with him. So it made it easier. Made it a little bit easier.
Let's get on to the game itself. I'll come back to you, Mark. First off, absolute shambles. But to be honest, rather than speak about the performance itself, I want to touch on the atmosphere inside St James's Park, because I think we all said that in the pub that if we go down, the atmosphere is going to get turned on its head. It didn't even take that.
Yeah. Well, we said it last week, actually, didn't we? When we were talking that all it took was a few misplaced passes to go a goal behind, or just to not start well, and all of that happened in the first kind of 5-10 minutes of the game, and then obviously, as we know, we did go behind, but it was quite a mixed affair with the atmosphere, because I've got to say it for the majority of it, the crowd was very, very good in making plenty of noise and stuff like that, but there was definitely massive numbers of people making their feelings very, very well known to Steve Bruce. So as much so as when I've watched it back on Match of the Day and on Sky and stuff like that, all the commentators have all mentioned the fact that the crowd wasn't happy. So it definitely came across to them. Maybe not so much in like the noise that you heard from me just watching back the highlights and stuff like that. I don't know what it was like. Matty, you probably know better from watching it on the TV, whether it came through on the speakers and stuff like that. But it was absolutely at times
it was loud.
It was
loud.
Very, very loud.
I always think it's hard to gauge when you watch on telly. It sounds when you're in the stadium, it depends on where you are. If you're sitting in the east stand, not in the Milburn stand, beg pardon, not the kind of belittle any, it just tends to be quieter there.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Strawberry Corner, the back of the Gallowgate, it just tends to be louder. Watching it on the telly, I watch it at home. A couple of times you did hear, and it sounded like the corner really going.
It was the
corner at the Gallowgate,
But
absolutely,
it's really hard to gauge, I think, because it depends where the microphones are, what they're going to pick up and stuff. And it wasn't. My kind of perception of it was that it happened towards half time, certainly towards full time, at full time as well. But it didn't feel. I've seen people at the game say, "Oh yeah, it was really." I think you said it was quite poisonous at times.
Yeah.
And I don't think I really came across on TV so much.
I just think you can hear it when it, like I said, I wouldn't think it was constant. It was it's like that visceral, It's not a come on. It's not like when Joelinton, every now and then we might, like back in the day, there'd be a bad passage of play. We've been behind it for 15 minutes. Finally goes out for a goal kick. It's like, right, you try and jig up the goal kick or something. Yeah. Like that raw. It wasn't a raw. It was a pure dismay. Like, this is shit. Again, and they've had them noises since the Southampton game. So you could hear it. It just wasn't constant.
I think it was loud, but it was for very brief spells at a time. You were looking for a couple of minutes. I think if that had continued, then it's only going to get louder across the ground.
More so in the second half, there was longer spells of persistent chanting, like the old
Bruce.
Cheer Up Stevie Bruce song was for a long time.
Ashley Out was getting chanted, and there was another Bruce one. Mike Dean got it out.
We want Brucey out.
A few times. What was he's got a baldy head or something like that.
It's not about you.
He was awful, though, wasn't
he?
He was absolutely awful.
He closed down here really well.
He did.
Well, I mean that. Well, that was that. I think that was in that was when we then sang that song.
He stepped
It's
across
not all
really
about
well.
you. But it's just some of his decisions throughout the game, like just blatant fouls, not giving anything, and just letting the of play go on, but when the team that were fouled, and this was both ways, like, you know, I'm not trying to be,
I think
say he was biased. He just,
once again though, I think we picked up the first booking, if I remember right, and there was a few times that Saint was getting pulled down left, right, and centre.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And I think we got the first booking for an absolute nothing challenge, if I remember right. Probably Hayden, to be fair, that picked it up. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, it seemed like he was quite willing to let a few things go when it was Saint that was running with the ball. But then as soon as the Leeds player was getting tackled, it just thought, nah, free kick.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's Mike Dean, isn't it?
I think it was
It's
Matt
all about
Ritchie was
him.
the first
It
one.
was Ritchie, was
So
it?
Look there, yeah.
Yes.
I remember it was just a bit of an innocuous one, really. It was like one way you could say, well, I'll give you one.
Typical
I'll give you
Matt
that
Ritchie
one.
challenge.
Yeah, and it was just like straight
Early
away.
on as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely early on. What I do want to mention as well is the protest. So it's been mentioned quite a bit, this protest. Apparently there was going to be a group handing out flyers going into the ground. I didn't see any. That's not saying that
There weren't, yeah.
there weren't, because there definitely were, because you did see a handful of paper planes going onto the field.
well, I don't know whether because the photos that I've seen or freeze frames or whatever of people that have posted has been like, it's all been in the Gallowgate, the Leeds East stand corner.
Yeah.
Like there, and the kind of like lying on the,
Yeah.
just over the advertising board, which proves the fact that I was saying last week of
Yeah.
that, you know, it just wasn't going to make it onto the
Because
pitch.
that was the
Did you see
problem.
So-
the banner that got held up.
No.
That was about the
Mags
Premier League.
against- Mags against Masters. something
Masters,
like that. It was in
aye.
that corner at the Gallowgate.
Yeah, I saw that.
Leeds East Stand corner, and it got lifted up when it was
Yeah.
close on that, and straight away the camera pulled like cut to a different one.
Yeah.
But then it was still just about to hit the top of the
Right.
screen.
It
So
was
that
just unfair, and yeah.
about an hour
It'll
in,
be
that
in the
was.
wrong. Obviously, you know what I said, but obviously would have been in the wrong place for us to see. Like,
Yeah.
like
you
opposite kind of thing.
really
So
struggled. It was like under the, like probably adjacent to the scoreboard, but down
Yeah.
the bottom
Right.
row. That
Did-
was bottom few rows.
Did you
Yeah.
hear the ticking along chance at all? Because I'm a big
Yes.
fan of that
Yeah,
chant.
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of that chant.
it wasn't
Massive.
massively
I
loud.
hope
or,
this is
like,
a start of
it was
something.
just little people chiming, like we were having a
Yeah.
little go of it, but
I've not heard this, but in my head it's to the tune of bobbing along.
no.
No, it's just we're ticking along.
That was my original thought when people
It's
start
just,
mentioning
we're
the tick
ticking along, we're Newcastle, we're ticking along.
Yeah.
Oh, another one to the tune of Sloop John B. Great.
So yeah, that was my thoughts as well.
Alright.
So like
Well
bobbing
timed.
along, singing a
I'm
song.
thinking,
Ticking along.
You got one to fit for you.
Oh, you're on something
Oh, yeah.
there, like
I'll
on
tell
the
you-
bottom
I'll
of the
tell you
Premier
what,
League. That'd be pretty good.
The
Like,
song that Kevin will come up with for Shea Given years and years ago.
Come on, tell me about that.
It was,
Hi, Kev, if you're watching.
It's Kevin. What
We
was
back
it?
in France or something,
I
probably.
remember sitting in the Gallowgate with him. It was like about 20 years ago. This now, and what was it? Whoa, Shay, I love you more than I can say. I love you even more tomorrow. That was it. It wasn't too.
What he didn't even finish with, I love you more and more
That
each
was
day.
it. That was it. And it wasn't to a tune. It was just Kevin. It was just like he
Just Kev singing.
Just him.
Aye.
Serenade and cheer.
Was
You
he
know what?
pissed at this point? It's Kev.
It's Kev, he would have been pissed.
He would have been pissed.
One of the two, like aye. What was the other one?
He had another one.
No, this wasn't Kev. This was me mate Kieran. You know, remember Lazar?
Mm-hmm.
You know the Christmas. The
Is that what Watford's? Lazar?
Spaceman came traveling.
No.
You know, our travellers.
Oh, right, okay.
I would have meant. I mean, no, he was shit. No.
Next week on the Gallowgateshots
Let's
YouTube
get
channel,
that.
more songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Perhaps we should instigate
An album.
you as the official
What, like,
songwriter.
get us on the pitch before the piss.
You're the new fucking opera singer. Remember him with the
To be
flag.
fair, get you in a black number, you could pass.
I'll be that. You see me pass.
What else I want to speak about? Obviously, we've just touched on the protest and the paper planes and everything, but Sky Sports actually had fans on the build-up to the game. So I think it was 7:15 it went out. Obviously, we had a couple of lads from the trust in there. We had Thomas on there. Yeah, so Thomas was on there. Alex, I don't think he's on the trust anymore, to be fair. I think he left.
No, he did.
So you had Alex and Norman from True Faith, and you had Holly, who was down at the protest in London as well. It came across really well.
All of them spoke really well. Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
well.
I was impressed with them all. Yeah.
So everybody on social media that's talking about, oh, these podcasts hate each other. No, we don't.
No, don't. They did very well, and well done
Some will
all
do.
for them. Because
Some of them are assholes.
would have been. I mean, I know I speak so eloquently on this thing, but I'd have probably frozen up. Like if and Trip they were asking me about stuff, I'd just been like, Bruce out.
To be fair though,
It's really hard. It's
Yeah,
really difficult.
yeah.
was a fellow from BT got in touch with me once. Nice lad, and he goes, "Oh, Bessie, come have a word before one of the games." I didn't bother. So I turned up and he wanted to talk about Lauren Robert, and I was like, "So what do you want to say about Lauren Robert?" And I was like, "Well, number 32, didn't he?"
It's lush
And that
one.
was pretty much it. you see, he's on that pants. Yeah. And I just froze. It's so different. It's really difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, well done to them guys. And like I said, taught the sport really well. And I think Alex in particular, when he spoke about Steve Bruce, when they asked about what could he do to win you over, because I don't think, and then he was like, well, winning games for starts. And then he went through the team, and then he said he's only won 7 in the last 30 odd. And he goes, and you're telling me that's not his fault when we've got the players we've got at our disposal. And I think things like that, I think it's easy for Carragher and the Nevilles of the world to just be like, well, they're ticking along. You know, he's doing an all right job given the circumstances, when we all know he should be doing better.
Yeah,
Well, that's it. It's facts. We don't just have these opinions, and this is the false narrative that you get in the media, is that, oh well, they don't like Bruce because he used to manage Sunderland. They don't like Bruce. That's because he's Ashley's puppet. No, we don't like Bruce because he's shit.
The evidence is
is
massive.
there.
Yeah.
You look at his win, even before he came to the club. You look at the evidence that's there. His win ratios, his performances in the Premier League. It's everything points towards the fact that he's a terrible manager.
I didn't dislike him when he got the manager's
I didn't.
job.
No.
I just didn't think he was good enough.
do you dislike him now?
And now
I just like him hugely.
We
I've got no
always
respect for him.
we always talked about giving him the benefit of the doubt and wanting him to do well and stuff like that, because there was people that as soon as he came in didn't want him at the club. And like we said, give him a chance. Let's see what happens. But he's talked himself into the bad books because of the way that he constantly talks the team down.
He's pinned himself into a corner, like.
Yeah.
Totally.
So-
And he's made it. I'm not saying he's made it him against the fans, because he's kind of, but he's really embraced that. He's gone, right, it's me and them.
Yeah.
Different kind of sides. It's not like come with me and I'll tell you what. I'll win you over. It's you stop doing that because you're not being fair to me. And it's like, well, people have given him a chance. We have, and I was really.
We used to get wrong for giving him praise.
I remember sitting upstairs and actually a few times saying, "Oh, Bruce has got it right this week," and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's just, I don't like him. And I was reading it, Mark Lawrenson's predictions thing that he does on the BBC website.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Always against
He
him.
normally
It's
gets it
terrible.
wrong.
Always hate
It
him.
is. Liverpool have never lost a game like Coutinho or something. I was reading one. He did one with Richard Hawley, who was a guitarist and Sheffield singer, songwriter. He was in Long Pigs. He was in Pubs a little bit. Anyway, he was a Sheffield Wednesday fan, and it was Newcastle playing against Arsenal. Like he says, maybe in the first game of last season, play Arsenal. It was West Ham.
1-0.
Either way, it was a couple of years ago. Played Arsenal. He says, "I hope Newcastle get beat 8-0," and it's got nothing to do with Newcastle or 8-0 against Sheffield Wednesday. It's Steve Bruce what he did at Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, they give him. I mean, I think he had a good start, didn't he? But they give him extra time off when
His parents died,
his
didn't it?
parents died, which obviously was awful.
Yeah, close to one another as well.
yeah.
I mean, obviously they were close because they're married.
Yeah.
But like,
To be fair, that doesn't always go hand in hand.
Doesn't grow apart, I tell you. And that's not a case for me. But yeah, like there was
2 kids now.
Yeah, now the real pressure starts.
My tongue there a little bit, to be honest with you. But yeah, like the died like not long after one another, and it's horrible. And Sheffield Wednesday were brilliant. It says because he left, I think the Villa got rid of him, didn't they? So they said like have a few months.
So it was like 3 games left in the season or something, and then he said, "Well, you wasn't there or not?"
Did he want to go and he wanted to go and watch a cricket in like India or?
They let him just go on holiday and that. And I mean,
Yeah.
and again, like,
Hold on a minute, he wanted to go on holiday.
well, like, given the
Where did
circumstance, you'd think. I mean, and again, fair play, Chef Wade, and I'm not against Steve Bruce for requesting that time off if he did, because it's an awful thing, and but they've given that time, and he's he ended up coming back. What was it, like 3 or 4 games, and then he's like, right, lads, I'm off to Newcastle. And I'm off to Newcastle. And I think they had an okay start as well, and then
But remember, he's not a quitter.
well, he's done that
7 out of 10,
six.
No, he's not a
7.
quitter. He said it.
Yeah.
So it must be true.
I just want to say thank you, Shane Sonas, for becoming a member. Thank you very much. If anybody else does want to become a member, helps us out massively.
Thanks, Shane.
Is he lovely?
Sounds
Is he?
like Shane, yeah, like that.
Better than Bruce?
Hold on, didn't Shane used to be a member? Did he
been off.
Did he sack
No,
off
we've
and then
got
come back?
Sean Saunders as well.
Sean and Shane.
Sean and Shane.
And whenever Sean pops up in Telegram, oh, Shane, and it's not. I'm like, oh, sorry, it's just Sean. I put it down.
Yeah, so Shane, so Shane, you can now enter the Gallowgateshots Telegram group. Are you even part of the Gallowgateshots Telegram group? Do you know about it, but you just never joined it?
What? I know, but tell the viewers just in case they don't know about it.
All right, so
I know all about it.
Do you?
Yeah. But you do the thing.
So the Gallowgateshots Telegram group is...
Tell us all about it, Matty.
No, I'll let Chris do it.
It's basically for members that do become members of the channel. You get access to the group where we are all in, apart from Decker. Decker just never entered it. We'll have a bit chatting there now and again.
It's about normal, isn't it? Just Decker not turning up for things.
Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, thanks very much for joining as a member.
Special things happen in that group as well.
There is special things happening in that group. Yeah.
I mean, I would know all about
What
it.
do you mean?
I would know all about it because I'm in it all the time.
Yeah, but back to the likes of Carrigan Neville. Yes, the other thing, obviously bringing Alex Hurst in. Alex always speaks well in front of camera. He always does when he comes on the likes of the radio shows. He knows he's a negative bastard as well. He can't be the most negative person in the world, but he's got reason to do so. And
Yeah.
He speaks sense. And if somebody's going to go on camera and speak about the club, he's going to be my first choice every single time, to be honest with you. Because I'm not going, because they didn't record till later on the afternoon, so we would have been pissed.
Imagine them trying to talk to us at that time.
That brown ale bottle would have been gone. I'll tell
Not
you
a
that.
chance.
But yeah, great choice of people to have on there.
There was a lot of people spoke to us on Friday, though. That was nice.
Yeah, somebody
We had
told us that.
we have a
this
lot
was
of
shit.
engagement.
Someone told you the studio was shit.
Yeah, somebody said that. Not the studio was shit. Somebody said that. They didn't say the podcast was shit, but they came up and said, "Oh, lads, like I love the podcast, great content. I've been watching it like all the way through lockdown. The end, but I preferred it when he was in the house because." You are too nice to each other now. You're in the studio.
The thing is, though, when we locked down football, I know things were bad, but then we had a few strings of good results where you can actually sort of lock horns on some subjects. But now it's just a case of we're shit. Well, I think we're shitter. You're probably right. And that's the extent.
We agree too much now, don't we? That's the thing. But no, we met a lot of members and a lot of viewers, so it was nice.
It's always good to have a big crack with people. To be honest with you, when you're out and about in town, I haven't been punched yet, which is a good thing. That'll come someday.
I punched you.
Did you?
When we scored?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that might be part of it.
It wasn't part of that.
Yeah.
Punch to the left.
I sit next to my dad, though, and my dad's bigger than me. So he
Mark knocked me yaring clean out. Clean out. But yeah, I've got the ring because Mark punched them out with your lugs.
Literally just shattered, didn't it?
Yeah. Darlow was back.
Played brilliant. I thought he played really well. Really well. The goal, which I haven't even mentioned yet, I don't think. He was in no way at fault for, as far as I'm concerned. You can see him looking at it, he's watching it, and he's just anticipating a touch because you would anticipate a touch. I thought there was one point in the second half where the ball went over into the box, and Darlow was like, he was at Munchies or something like that. I don't know where he was.
He literally had a rush of blood and went flying out.
To be fair,
he's got that, and that's one of my things with Darlow, and I don't want to kind of bless him. Like, he's got this thing where every game something's going to happen. Like Titus Bramble a bit. Bramble will be phenomenal for 89 minutes in 59 seconds. And one thing would happen. At least one thing would happen with Titus, in fairness. Not always on a football pitch either.
Jamal Lascelles has taken that mantle at the minute from him, hasn't he?
I think that's a very...
Which one you talking about?
I've never seen Jamal Lascelles.
Yeah, we cannot do no...
On the football pitch.
Okay.
And
as far as I know.
That could be litigious. But yeah...
allegedly.
I like Darlow. He's a good stopper. His kickings are fantastic. He's a decent goalkeeper. In that run he had in the team last season, I thought for the most part, he did struggle a little bit towards the end. He wobbled a bit before the Rafa came back. But he was fine. But it's just that one rusher that he has.
He got off to a good start, didn't he? When they had a chance early on, and he got down to he's coming out and claiming the ball well and stuff like that. So I think he just grew in confidence as the game went on.
I think he's probably the best shot stopper at the club.
You've got to remember as well, he has lost a stone and a half. So if he's going to go anywhere, I'd probably go to Munchies as well.
Maybe that's made him a bit more agile, being that a bit more lithe.
I ran past Munchies last Sunday. I walked.
Did you go in?
Did you get in the wrong way on the Great North Run?
No, I went past there.
Is that where it went? I thought it went up Dobson Street and around the top.
I think Munchies is there.
There's two Munchies? Which Munchies?
Oh, do you mean the Munchies at Haymarket on that?
I mean,
Next to the Civic.
I mean, the Munchies on John Dobson Street. Because there's Munchies and Munchies too.
And you
Munchies
telling
too.
us we don't argue?
No, Munchies is
Munchies
next
too.
to like
Munchies-
Tesco's and.
That's Munchies too.
There's 2 Munchies.
It's even called Munchies too.
Is it called Munchies too?
Between
There's
Tesco
Munchies too,
and
or Munchies as well?
The garden.
Also Munchies.
Aye, like down from the like the Bulls and that, and Tesco's and.
Formerly Scruffy Murphys.
25 minutes when man just talk about pizzas.
No, Munchies.
Is that
and-
definitely called
Munchies-
Two
is that
Munchies?
Munchies too.
It's just
I'm remembering now. There's one.
on John Dobson
It's
Street.
not on John Dobson Street, is it? Is it not on the?
Before you
Does
get
John
a-
Dobson Street come up and along like?
Before you get a Lucky's.
It's in the side entrance, the
Look,
5
you
Swans.
showed your age there, aren't you?
I
Yeah.
Lucky's card.
You're around the corner heading towards Haymarket,
Yeah.
opposite the Civic.
Oh,
and
sorry,
that.
it's off John Dobson Street. Beg pardon. After John Dobson.
See, I knew it.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
but you're talking
Face
about
the one facing the uni, yeah?
Aye,
Yeah.
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 there's a Greg's there as well, isn't there?
Aye.
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 Yes.
I was hard doing the run going past Greg's, Munchies, KFC twice, McDonald's twice. I walked most of it. I saw,
Subway at the White Mare Pool as well.
no, I didn't go down there. It went
But you went past that and come back on
yeah,
yourself,
but I
didn't
wouldn't
you?
have to go off.
You could just slip down the little slip road, grab
Slip
yourself
down the
a
little
Slip
slip.
down the little
get a little subway,
When I was-
come back up the subway up the slip road on the other side,
When I
and
was
then around.
Subway as well.
when I was
Well,
coming
yeah.
back, like back towards like the halfway point type of thing. Walking past KFC, there was cut some masses. Walking past with a couple of buckets now. Shit.
What that would do in the run? And just getting stuck into
Oh,
a
no,
boneless
I don't really
banquet.
know where, but by this point, my hand had turned purple because I've been watching too tight.
You're recreating fucking 127 hours and just cutting your fucking hand
Like, my
off.
fingertips were purple, and I'm like messaging. I'm just walking it. I'm messaging Amy, going like, I don't want to tell her this because she'll tell us to stop. I don't want to stop, but what happens if I die? And I didn't. I just lose my watch.
Well, I was going to say, would you not just like lose the use of your
Just
hand
take
or
your watch
something
off.
rather than die?
Just take your watch off, mate.
It's only
I
like
just-
slowing down your blood
I just
circulation a
it
bit.
was funny
isn't
'cause I was in a Fitbit competition with a couple of lads.
Or how tight you could get it.
It
It's a very strange competition to be in.
What's the,
Said I'd keep it on this.
Who's got the thinnest wrists?
the most high-profile limb loss?
Yeah.
Right, we've gone way off. Way off as usual.
He was making a shit version of that film, you know, where the bloke gets stuck on his rock and he's got.
I've already said it, mate. I already made the reference mark like
Oh, did you? I
literally
missed
2
that.
minutes
Missed
ago.
it, missed
What
it.
was that film that?
That's how long it took me to do the Great North Run, man.
Was that film that?
If you say James Franco, will be
James
very.
Franco?
Yes, he's got him. He's got him.
I think,
Every time.
Was it a Brought a Mid-Train spot? Made it in Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
This looks lovely, by the way. I've not seen this first. I wasn't at that game. I'll tell you, I've got to finish out my hand. See you later. Joe Harvey there. Look.
How long was Bestie's maternity leave?
It's been.
It's been 74 years.
17 years.
Yeah. Bestie, where was this year last time you were
Well,
here?
it was here, but it wasn't.
Didn't have a light.
Erect.
No, we didn't put that up for
Sorry.
a while, did we?
It was down. It was spell. It's quite a lot, but you know, I've noticed that you've mysteriously put a picture of Philippe Albert behind mine. Still can't find it.
Yeah, I did.
We'll put him there so you'd be able to find him.
Right. Let's move on.
Get the train back on the tracks.
Let's go to the goal, the Leeds goal, right? Is it Lascelles at fault on this one? Is it once again where Richie's just letting players do whatever the fuck they want?
Rich, I think you can't really point the finger at Richie. Richie wasn't
He's leaving
anywhere.
far too much space in those areas, and he has done for the last X amount of
Was
weeks.
from quite deep though, wasn't it?
Very deep,
It was
very deep.
Richie was nowhere near it because of the way the ball gets picked up.
Where's he supposed to be playing?
He was playing where he should be, left back.
In fairness, Richie being nowhere near it isn't exactly a defence.
No, but meaning as in he's
In more ways
he's
than
in
one.
the back
5.
27 line.
27.
The midfield wasn't there because if anything, you can't really blame him for this. But obviously Joelinton was playing left side. But if you look where Joelinton is,
Yeah.
he's like right in the
Matty-
center of the pitch. So it's for me, it's just one of them ones where it's a bit of a fluke goal. It's a very, very clever goal because he whips it into the box and it's made by the little dummy in the middle.
Dummy wasn't playing.
Rodrigo.
Yeah, Rodrigo's dummy. He jumps over,
Jumps
it opens
very
his
high.
legs, and well, as you say, it just means that the
The marionette.
Darlow's just left wrong-footed, isn't it? And
He is
I think it's the
goes in.
best he's been let out the house. So he's just going for it.
I'm just really tired. I was on a drink last night.
Oh, you had a gig, weren't you?
I was out with Mark and the mate you and I want to see Ash.
Oh, yeah. So what Mark got up to last night on social media. He had a few too many.
I'm responsible for that. Like, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
got a couple of in, Mike.
Be like, go on, Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Go on, Mark. Because your phone.
Who's your? You know that ball that with the beard that does a podcast. I don't know.
Right, we conceded the goal, right? At that point, I'll come to you, mate. At that point, do you think we're fucked?
I don't think we're going to get smashed 5 or 6 or anything like that. Although we'll probably get to the fact that they had a lot of chances in the first half, especially near the end. But I just thought, we're getting beat. It's Newcastle all over. Leeds haven't A, had a lead so far this season, and B, haven't won a game so far this season. So
I don't have a fit centre back on the field.
Yeah. And we're still going to just let them just score a fluky goal and then not react. And I mean, to a certain degree, I guess we did react a little bit. I mean, there was points where we could have scored a couple of goals.
Well, in fairness, you've just saying there before they scored the goal, they could have. We had probably the 2 best chances. I'm just adjusting myself.
What he said, we as well.
Except next to Yogi Löw. Yogi Bear, one of the 2.
The thing is, people couldn't.
From here.
I was just adjusting me shorts.
It's your foreskin roll back there.
Oh, dear me,
Sting me
bestie.
eyes.
Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
Dear,
Bestie's back.
What has he been on? Dear me, he's like giddy with excitement. But like before they scored that goal, we probably had the 2 best chances in that game, with Richie hitting the post.
Was that before the score?
That was
Right,
before
sorry,
they
I
scored.
That was after, wasn't it?
That was before. And then we had the one where Saint goes right up the touchline into the corner, skins a few, and plays it across. Mickey swings at it, misses it, and then Joe takes a shot, which the keeper then saves.
I think Joe stalled that move.
So
do you not win the header?
Yeah,
on the left hand side of the field.
Played it out wide.
Because we've mentioned him. Joelinton.
Matty's not an allowed opinion on
I'm
this.
waiting for Matty.
So
Because there's something Matty said in the
we'll
group.
come back to Matty.
After the when Richie hit the post, he was like, I can't believe Joelinton's not even gone for it. I'm watching it again and it goes completely opposite direction.
It goes nowhere near him.
but like,
I'm sitting there going, I don't know
it's not that bestie, but it's just the fact that I've seen him so many times not follow shots in, and everyone says strikers. I know he's not a striker, I should do it. But we're going to talk about Joelinton now.
Go on, you carry on.
I'm not here to be like that Spanish football guy rubbing my hands together, like ready to tear him a new arsehole. I know he's had a half decent game. Like he did. Like I was kicking off in the pub, one of my mates said, Matty, to be fair, like he's probably had one of his better games for us. And I was like,
Saint described it as outstanding.
But was it outstanding though?
Saint said it.
Like
yes.
so
I think Saint would, because him and Joelinton worked very, very well together.
And I'm not saying that he didn't play well and he didn't work well together. It's just I think we've got to a point now where if he does anything other than be dog shit or average, we're like, oh, he had a decent game, did the lad like? And I think we've got a weird sort of lens on him at the moment. We always.
I don't think we've got a weird lens on him, but I think if you just look at that game as one game and not look at the past, you probably look at him thinking, "No, he
was all right." But I think I saw a couple of tweets and I agree with them. They weren't being overly harsh or overly critical. It was just, the chance he had, that's not a good save. It's just not. You have to put that away. And then the one that Bestie's on about was just I was about 7 pints deep by then, but it's when Richie hits the post and I was just watching him.
I can't believe that stayed out.
I know, just literally millimeters to the right of the post would have went in, but you watch him he looks at Richie and then just looks at the ball going across and then just sort of goes, oh, and you want your players at least following it in for a tap in, be hungry, have that instinct. I just don't think Joelinton has any instincts when it comes to goal scoring.
When people talk about Joelinton on Twitter in particular, because apparently Twitter nuance doesn't always really kind of come through. It's people are I had this thing. My dad didn't like Lauren Roberts that much, and I loved him. So whenever Lauren Roberts did something even mildly decent,
what did you love about him, Bestie?
I was a very good player. He struck a ball very well, scored a lot of goals. So held the record at one point for the most goals and goal involvements in a season.
Do you know when you were talking about when you went on BT Sports to speak about someone and they asked you about Laura Byrne, and you said,
32.
Yeah,
32 in his pants.
32 grew in their pants.
He's had 15 years to rehearse this answer, though. To be fair,
researching since
yeah.
But I just loved him. It was it was a bit like Ginola, but different, because Ginola would beat a man, whereas Lauren Roberts would just kind of beat the ball.
Yeah.
I was there the day he got those 2 goals against Tottenham, and his body shape for the first ones pretty much exactly how you get told not to kick a football when you're a kid. Like his legs, his boots, like where Chris's phone is more or less, the balls where Matty is more or less, he puts in the top. He was just a really exciting player to watch, and he was kind of a really important part of Robson's Newcastle. I'm going to tell you what, anyway, going back, that was my kind of example of Joelinton. Is it? I'm rooting for Joelinton a bit. So whenever he does something that's all right, that isn't terrible, I'm like, oh,
but he's not Laurent Robert.
Here we go. Oh no, it's not. He certainly isn't. But then, like, I think some people are really kind of who just don't like, just made their minds up, don't like him. So if something's like that could have been a little bit better, it's not really. Yeah, and this isn't me. I'm not including.
No, I know. I sort of like. I don't sit on the fence with it. I am done with him now. Like I just don't have any hope for him. I think he's hopeless. But like, I want. Hopeless. No, but I want. It's not like I don't want him to see him do. I want to see him do well. But he just has to do a bit more for me to go. Bye, Joelinton, had a good game today. Like, because I feel like he just does. Sometimes he just does the bare minimum or something a little bit more better, and people are like, "Oh, well, Joelinton."
It's harsh to say he did the bare minimum.
No, I'm not saying the bare minimum against Leeds. I'm saying he had a decent game against Leeds. I just think people can like inflate it a little bit because they're not used to seeing him do it.
But people will also do the opposite of that, where he has a decent game against Leeds, and people go, "I was shit in his last game. He's been shit in the game before."
There's loads of people that I've seen said he was shit on Friday.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that. I just, there was a couple of bits that frustrated me, especially that chance he had.
But you know, the Saint-Maximin thing, he was incredible. I brilliant what it was.
Outstanding.
I had a thing years ago where I remember thinking, you know, if you got like, it was when Jeremy was at the club, because this was the example I used. When he was warming up,
Beadle.
It would have been a good idea to give him a big hand, to have someone like Les Ferdinand just to warm up next to him. So people would cheer Les Ferdinand and Jeremy would go like, "Oh, love us."
Why was Les Ferdinand there at the same time?
No.
I was about to say,
14 years apart.
Years and years later.
But they're 14 years apart.
Yeah.
What's Les doing today?
Yeah.
Get Les involved. Yeah. But yeah, so I former club.
Martins.
10 not
They would have been there at the same time.
Martins and Jeremy, no.
No,
Would have been.
Not yet.
Martins and Jeremy different way.
That 2
Got
seasons.
relegated.
Right.
Jeremy scored his only goal in the next season against Huddersfield in the League Cup.
There you go. That's why he's here.
Is that when Colchini got sent off?
No, that was 4-3.
That's why he's here.
4-3 that game, 3-2 down. Came back. It was
Jeremy and Babayaro. That's what signed both of them from Chelsea.
They went in the same team
at the same time.
Awful.
Different time. Babayaro. Yeah, because
Souness was Babayaro not Souness?
Babayaro as well.
I think he made his debut against Yemen.
Jeremy was Allardyce's sign.
Yeah.
Jeremy came in that summer where they got like David Rosnell, Casapa,
Enrique,
Amdi Fai. That was a save.
Abdoulaye Fai was.
Sorry, Fai. Abdoulaye.
Welcome to the Gallowgateshots retro show.
It's always good to reminisce, though, isn't it?
It is.
This is basically
Reminisce about when we were shite then as well.
Yeah.
This is just all the episodes of Time Machine we haven't done
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
You mean extra time?
That's the one.
Yeah. Right. So moving on. Obviously, they get their goal. Blah blah blah. Joe had a outstanding game.
Had an outstanding fucking chance.
Corner Saint.
He did link up very well with.
Leave it alone.
I was scratching my leg there.
Can you just get off your cock?
I'm not touching it.
You can get a bestie's cock. I don't know who's touching.
It's worn it out.
Put this on your Jay.
But I thought his link up play and stuff like that with Saint was excellent. On Friday night, he was winning balls in the air. He was showing good strength. He had much more of an appetite than I've seen in recent games. And I think credit where credit's due. You've got to look at that performance and think that he played well.
I mean, I think that it wasn't. If he extrapolates, if the rest of the season plays just like he did on Friday.
If you what?
Extrapolates.
Lovely.
I'm not too sure it's quite the right usage.
I don't even know what it means.
I'm relying on that.
Carries on, do you mean?
Takes stuff away from it.
When he extrapolates, it just kind of
builds on it.
You know, it's like that.
Right.
Grows.
Yeah. But if he can do that over the course of the whole season, then
You're not extrapolating under that table, are you?
I would be happy. I would never say he's £40 million well spent, but that would be. I think it'd be worth his place in the first team. And you think, oh well, yeah, he's been all right as Big Joe.
Big Joe. Right. So Saint, once again, Saint pulls us out of the shit as usual. Yeah. He honestly, he's that sort of player where. First off, granted, he probably did have obviously the first 20 minutes of quiet game. I thought he's playing that weird striker role, that
Hated
false
it.
striker
I don't
role,
like
which
him now.
Hated.
and obviously
When he scored, like,
where Saint's best is, I know, but he picks the ball up on the outskirts of the box and he just cuts across.
Yeah.
Something that was shown X amount of times. I think at that point we're all screaming,
Joelinton
shoot,
set them up again.
shoot, but he just keeps on going, and how that goes past the keeper, I've literally got no idea.
It's the,
angle, isn't it?
It's the angle
So
coming through
slow as
bodies.
well.
It's coming through bodies as well. I think it's when a lot of people, I think it's a Chris Kamara always says the ball goes, I don't know if it goes through legs, if it comes through bodies or through legs, keepers see it so late. And he did it quite hard as well.
There was one of them where he sold one of the defenders on midfielder who right up the river because he just went sliding past them.
I think if you Marshall or Bielsa, though, you're fuming at that goal. Like, because it's literally, he'll have known, he's not daft, he'll have been like, this is all they've got. So he's going to be trying to get on his right foot. And they've shown him all the way across, and then he's just a good finish. I mean, he did it in the second half twice as well, and he scored a goal from it. So
yeah, it's basically that. So come through crowd players, and the goalkeeper seeing it so late, that's already passed.
Keeper's got no chance because he's following it across, isn't he?
Mikey says when it comes through the sea of legs, and forest of legs like that. You think, well,
forest of legs.
I think it only went through one leg.
Went through one leg.
One leg.
Is that
Just
possible?
one leg.
Like one leg.
Is that just
One dangled
is that
leg.
just going past the leg? But yeah, you can't blame the keeper. That he does. It's a good hit. He does really well to kind of. He dummies a couple of times, and the defenders are kind of. I like him. I like it, Saint-Maximin.
Thanks, mate.
There's a player in there, isn't there? He might do all right.
he
for us.
might
He
do
might do
okay.
all right. You never know.
It's just so strange that I think we mentioned this before on the podcast, you go back to when we first signed him, when we first rumored to be signing him. The rumors that we're hearing is that he's got no end product
All roll, no sausage.
and that he's a bad influence.
But do you not think
On the dressing room.
he's learning?
Where did
from-
that come from? I recognise that. Who
I
said
know,
that?
I've just said it loads and hoped it.
I know a
Was
bloke.
it
I've
just
got
you
a-
that
Had
said it?
sausage.
All roll,
roll,
no
no
sausage.
sausage.
I
All
know,
roll, no
I know a
sausage.
bloke, he's dead now, who got barred out with club and shields for having a sausage roll with no sausage in it.
Not bad out of it for having it.
He went to Greg's. Oh, sorry, he went to a well-known, reputable local baker.
Dixon's
And picked up. It's not a baker. is it?
They're not bakers.
Butcher.
do baked goods.
You've got
They're
Yankee
big,
Candle-
as
They
Yankee
do
Candle next
pies
door as
and
well.
sausage rolls and that.
This is one for Toon Pools, right? So, leave if you're listening. The next Toon Pool has to be is Dixon's a baker's or a butcher's.
Predominantly, it's a butcher's. Like, it's
So I'd say it's more of a delicatessen.
Oh, you've only got a choice of two. You said bakers.
it doesn't sort of butcher.
No, because it sells like. I know it's.
What's
I'm
that?
going to say it. I'm gonna say
Sounds
it.
like-
Like cooked meats and that, which typically a butcher might sell. But would you not say a butcher would be more
Sells
your
meat.
sausages and steaks and chicken
Meat.
breasts and stuff like that?
Meat.
all of which you
Raw meats,
Meat.
rather than
And of course, Dixon
Cured
sell
meats.
those sausages that you can just eat straight out of Savoy's.
Savoy's.
But
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not, they're still cooked.
Do breakfast too.
Anyway, I want to hear about
Do
this
breakfast,
rogue sausage
exactly.
roll.
A fella called Rocky was a taxi driver lived in South Shields. He
It's back.
I worked at the Stag's Head in South Shields. I put it really
Lovely
well.
bar.
I used to love the Stag's. I loved it. And at 6 o'clock, we had to ring the bell, and that was Rocky's cut-off point. Like gremlins, that you don't feed after midnight. You don't give Rocky a drink after 6 because he go berserk. And he used to drink in the Mile End Club, which hasn't been there for years now. It was
Why was it called that?
well, so Mile End Road.
Oh, right.
Gone now.
And my mate was a fella I used to work with, Phil Mullen. Who got
Why was he called that?
100 stories about Phil. Like he's a
Lovely that
a
Phil.
bloke, like. Oh no, this is Phil Mullen. I think his son's called Phil Mullen. His son's
I know
a-
the son.
Sausage roll! Get a sausage roll, for fuck's sake!
Anyway, Phil was either running or working in the Mile End Club at this point. Rocky
Which
turns
Phil?
up,
Phil
Senior.
senior or junior?
Senior, junior. So Rocky puts his sausage rolls on the bar, goes to the toilet, pint of Carl and Phil gone to the toilet. So Phil poked the sausage out of the rolls, ate it, wrapped everything back up, put them in.
I love it.
Rocky pastry goes to Greg's, plays Holy Hell, bad.
Well, you would?
Oh, I love
You
it.
got bought from Greg. I thought you
I
said
thought
from
you
a
meant he
pub.
got bought from
I
the
got bought
pub.
out of Greg's.
That's what it sounded like. I thought that the poor lads probably just been like, there's no sausage in me roll.
I thought you.
Right, get out.
I remember
You're a mess.
Rocky again.
Did you say he was bought from a pub at the very start?
I'm sure he did.
Bought out Greg's. I remember him and his pal coming to Stags one afternoon when I was working there, and they picked up these two rasses and like Asda or something. Or I didn't know had their bags of chocolate with them anyways. And he's gone, he comes upon and goes, Junior, my dad was best as well, Junior.
Julia, it's a funny name.
What I was told is we have been called Junior. I feel like an Adams Family character. I was like 6'5".
Junior.
Oh, Junior, hello, so Junior, you having a? He says, how much are you Smirnoff Ice? I was like, I would 250. Give her half a lager. Like 75 pence or whatever. Anyway, they're sitting there, they're absolutely clattered. Rocky's pal fell at the fireplace. Rocky guns for a piss. And I'm watching these two lasses and they're going through that shop and nicking that cheese slices and stuff like that.
Robot cheese. Was it robot cheese?
Oh, craft type.
I love the fact that this story came from Saint-Maximin. Men not have no
This
isn't on me.
situation is all your fault.
I swear to God, there's still people in the comments talking about Saint-Maximin.
He's just snorted
With the butchers.
Rocky, this one time.
Oh my God.
This
Rocky
one time
Chronicles?
he comes up with some guns. Oh, Junior, I seen I'm getting you. What you seen this?
It's the Rocky Horror
I
shows.
says, aye, nice that Rocky. He goes, it's made by Quartz. They're great then. Aye, Rocky, that. Bless him, Rocky, rest in peace, man.
Is Rocky still with me?
No, it's a sad stuff, yeah.
Oh, he was on the win that you not you
Right,
not
we'll
you
move on.
you
Right,
did.
move on.
Okay. That's-
We'll move on. Right.
So Saint-Maximin, when we were going to buy him, a lot of people said
Yeah.
he had no end product.
And that he was a bad egg.
There's an arrogance about him. Yeah.
Some may say he was a
One
raw.
time, Rocky bought
No,
I've got no egg stories.
but as I was saying, do you not think it's because he's now matured into the side and actually like as Callum Wilson like said the other week, like in his interview, he's like, they started talking to him about doing the simple thing more often,
Getting
and
the foot up his ass.
looking for the pass rather than just trying to take 30 players on just because he can.
You know how a lot of people kind of
He's gone.
people say that like Longstaff hasn't progressed as they thought he would do because like Bruce has ruined him. I saw the opposite point made about Saint-Maximin saying he's a far better player now than he was when we first signed him.
I thought when we first signed him, I wasn't too sure. Like I remember he made that debut against
West Ham.
with the dump at the friendly. He did really good in that friendly at home, and a lot of people were like, who we got here? And then Arsenal didn't do much. I think the Spurs game, I think he came on, he started, got injured, and then he couldn't seem to get it going. And then we started seeing a little bit at the end of that season after the COVID break, and then he's kicked on from there. And yeah, I mean, I do love him. Like he can be, I've said on this podcast before, he can frustrate me a little bit, but I think he's got license to when he's got the quality. He's carrying the club at the moment when Wilson's not there.
He's still got it in him to do those frustrating times. There was times in the game on Friday where he did just hold on to it for too long and trying to. I think it was one late on second half where he gets it and there's two across the other side of the goal and he goes for the shot rather than passing and stuff like that, which is
different. Yeah.
But then there was another one from the other side, from the Isan side, where he tries to take it from a ridiculously tight angle, and the keeper has to pull off a great save. So I think it's you're going to have to take it with him. Is that definitely. From time to time he does make stupid choices and doesn't take the easy pass, and he will try and take on that extra player and do 2 step overs instead of just one. And
I don't think that's something that you exclusively have with him. I think you look at players that are more successful clubs, players that are perceived to be far better, and it's a criticism seen made of them quite often. Although they're a bit simple-minded, a bit single-minded, a bit.
Don't you?
I really wish it sang the wrong band there.
Forget about it.
I was really hoping he'd sing Deacon Blue or something like that. But no, you retain the dignity, so. One for the dads. But no, Saint-Maximin is. But I think if you take that away from him, I also thought the same with Rooney, where you had this thing with Rooney where he wouldn't just take the position, he'd come back, you see him filling in left back all over the place. But if you take that away from him, then you're taking a lot of his game away. And Saint-Maximin, he's going to make those strange, sometimes apparently selfish decisions. But if a defender isn't expecting him, if he becomes predictable, basically, it becomes easier to play against. I'd rather he did that. I'd rather he was put the wrong ball in. Sometimes I had a shot from stupid angles, like Lauren Robert.
Just let him get on with it, basically.
Yeah. Because
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, but that comes with
At some
having
point,
a talent
that
like him.
sausage will come.
Mate, the sausage has been well and truly there. I would say, like, you know.
Last half hour.
But no, I don't think he's one of the all roll no sausage players. He's not Remy Cabella anymore. He's a sort of he does deliver. And he takes players out of games like in like, you know, handfuls when they're trying to.
So there's definitely kebab meat in his wrap now.
There's massively,
There's another one for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Can we talk about one thing as well though? And come at the end of the first half, what the fuck when they broke and it was like 4-2,
God, right at the end.
and they literally.
Was that when Junior
Rafinha
made that horrendous miss?
Well, Rafinha had all the time in the world he set himself for it seemed like 5 seconds.
Did Richie give him all
And
that
it-
time?
That actually came from a Saint hanging on to the ball too long and trying to take it out.
But why were
And
we
we
all,
got
all the way
robbed
up the
and
pitch
then-
though? Why were we all at the, I don't get that. So it seems like as much as we're a very defensive side with no plan going forward, and we just kind of Allan Saint-Maximin, there's been a couple of instances like West Ham when we lost the third or fourth goal, and it was like, why is 3 centre halves up the pitch?
Yeah.
This isn't even
We
from a set
did
piece.
have a hell of a lot more players getting forward.
Yeah.
And in
But why does it have
box
to be the
on
centre halves? I mean, it
Friday.
makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that baffles me. And again, you know, you have to point at the coaches or the manager. But yeah, I just don't know how that didn't go in. And then
It was the second one.
the miss where it's literally
Because
just a tap.
Darlow saves it from.
I think there's a block as well. There's a block in there as
in
well.
there, but that's the last shot where he skies it
Yeah.
over from 6
That's a
yards
proper
out. That's awful.
sitter, that.
That's
absolutely
two
awful.
home games in a row we've seen that.
Yeah.
He's a player that he was a Betis for a bit. I like Betis. So I kind of thought, I like this kid. I'll see what happens. He went to Barca. I thought, that's it. He's got his move now. And he was shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was shocking. It was worst player on the pitch on Friday. He was terrible. There was one point where they broke. It might have been at the start of what we've just been talking about, Matty, when they broke on it. And he carried it forward. And I think I would have gone about the same pace as him. I think for a young, he's only 21, 22-year-old, maybe slightly older than that. But he's a young lad playing fullback in Premier League, haven't played it back, and you think, why aren't you quicker than that? It's like supposed to be Stephen Carr. He was like that for us. He was so slow. He looked slow and he was slower again. Stephen Carr.
Going backwards.
And he was bald for no reason. He could have paid the hairline. He shaved his head. He didn't
Oh,
even-
I hate them people.
I don't mind the bald lads. I've got nothing against the bald lads.
Thanks.
Not all the bald lads.
Not all of them. Some of them.
But I don't trust someone who shaves their head when they don't need it.
What about
Yeah.
somebody that's got a head of hair but then wears a fake bald cap thing to make
That was
themselves
weird.
look
What was
bald?
all that
was-
about?
was
That's
that,
weird.
that was so strange.
Has
I've
anything
never-
been confirmed about that? I was just, as
That
everyone
was
just forgot
just
about it.
bizarre, that
was
wasn't it?
like that?
It was a European
Was it Lee
Champions
Nelson
League
again?
game, wasn't it?
Simon Brooke, one of his stunts.
I just
Got tackled so hard, his
can't
scalp fell
figure
off.
it out.
It was madness, wasn't he?
He immediately grew hair.
He was tackled so hard he grew hair.
Turned into a chia pet.
It literally pings off as well.
I think it's when it's
It's
swimming.
like elastic band. Ping.
That's what it's like, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
A swimming cap.
I remember on Tape Friday years ago, Usher used to wear the
Bandana, the
beanie
do-rag
thing.
thing.
And there was a thing on Tape Friday where they put them on and try to take them off using their eyebrows. So they'd sit in his goal line.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like he'd done that and successfully managed to kind of.
That could be the
Do you
next
reckon
Mark
he's, do you
versus
reckon
Dave.
he was? Do you reckon he's been bald and he's had one of them like hair transplants, but he doesn't want people to know yet?
No, because
So
when
he's
you've had a
been
hair
wearing
transplant, you're not allowed to put anything on your head. You've got to let your head
Yeah.
breathe.
Is that why you wear your cap all the time?
What? Because I haven't had a
You
hair
haven't had
transplant.
a
Had a reverse hair transplant.
I might just start telling people it's a bald cap I'm wearing. What I wanted to...
Madness, that wasn't it?
What?
The
No.
bald cap thing.
Oh, I
Just
thought you
somebody
were talking
came back
about
to us
the band for
with
a second there. I thought
with
you were
the
talking
Stephen
about...
Cole.
Madness didn't right said Fred did.
I know. I thought you were talking about the group.
Look how they wound up.
Madness. No, Madness has definitely got hair.
Sucks.
Suggs.
Speaking of which,
Madness.
It sucks.
madness. We saw
Madness.
madness on the touchline between Steve Bruce, Graham Jones, and Matt Ritchie.
Yeah.
What is going on
That was
there?
so strange. Like, it was, you know, that picture that was on that went viral a couple of years ago. The two young'uns in a nightclub in Scotland, and he's talking to her, and she's like,
Yeah.
It reminded us of that. Like Bruce is just trying to. No, mate, we're not interested.
He tries.
Richie's the last as well. Like, because he's only looking at Graham Jones.
Yeah.
And he's just sort of like, it seems just as if, like, I don't want to listen to you.
I
I might be
don't
wrong.
get
I might be
it.
totally wrong. Like,
Yeah.
but
But I want to play as devil's advocate slightly here. Is that part from Graham Jones as well?
well, didn't this brought about the formation change? Is that correct?
Apparently so. Yeah.
This is when he said, right, you're staying back. You stay back. I'm going to go bring Hayden up. I was reading the match report thing on NUFC.com. They said they talked about these pictures and said it led to the formation change. And I don't know whether he's just, and maybe this is me just wishful thinking, that Steve Bruce takes about 10 words to say to, like, instead of, he's probably going, what you need to do is probably what you probably need to do, Matt, is, and then Graham George probably just went, you there, Rich's going to go there, Hayden's going to go there, that's what we're doing.
Basically a serve.
And he's probably just thought, it looked like it wasn't like we didn't have enough time, so he just thought, right, it just talks over Bruce. Bruce shoots him that little look, I thought, as well, as if to say, like, sort of like, well, I'll just sit back, but maybe I'm just wishing that he's...
So I don't know, I think, like, it's
we're going to read
well,
a lot into it.
It's well documented that Bruce isn't a tactical man and that kind of thing, and that he leaves that side of things, particularly the attacking side of things, to Graham Jones. Yeah. So I'm thinking he's talking about how he wants the team to move and go into those positions, because then people kind of then picked up on the bit where right at the end where like Bruce goes no. But like watching that, everybody's going, oh, he's saying no, because like Jones is saying that. But to me, watching that, right at the end, Richie asks something to say, and Bruce goes, no, it's not that. And then Jones comes in with something again. So it's
no matter which way you look at this,
arguing over
still doesn't come across
it
straight.
Doesn't at all. And Graham Jones was sat watching the game in the stands, and he came down 15 minutes in. And he came down and changed. It was Hayden.
Hayden went into midfield. He went into a 4. Yeah. Went into 4-2-3-1. Yeah.
I don't understand this setup right now. I really don't. I've tried and I thought, right, it might be that, like Bruce said when he was on BBC Newcastle, one thing that he did say was that Bruce was in charge of defensive side of things,
which we're terrible at.
Yeah, Graham Jones was in
really
charge of attacking formation and getting the team further up the field. I can't figure it out. I really can't figure it out. And there was people in the comments, because it was my pal that sent us a video and I put it on social media while we're in St. James's Park. And obviously the video went mental. But I think there was West Brom fans. Did he have a spell out West Brom, Graham Jones?
Yes. Yeah, they were saying that he
saying that this is exactly what
this is what he was like and
stuff
like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, I was just saying, I think he only managed Luton, didn't he?
Yeah, and
terribly.
There was a few fans from different clubs saying this is Graham Jones, he's arrogant. That and it was fans that just didn't appreciate what he was doing.
Piece, Dwight Gale called him out on the training pitch, didn't he? Said it's all about you since you came back from England.
Was that after the last recording? That it must have been after the last recording. So Craig Hall comes out and releases that article, which says there's been another bust up on the train. I'm not asked about in-house fighting. I'm really not. I don't mind to say it. It'll probably happen at every single club.
Dig Diame and go
cosplay
out with him.
Exactly.
It was never an issue, was it? It was just,
but somebody needs to give him a dig these days.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is apparently the words which were said were, it's not always about you, Gailey. That's what Jones said to Dwight Gale. You got to understand Dwight Gale's pissed off. We're going into X amount of games needing goals. And Dwight Gale's just sat on the bench. Somebody that Steve Bruce wanted to sign at every single club that he's been at. And he's not giving him any game time, which that baffles us. But then obviously the retaliation from Gale was, well, it's always been about you since you got back from England. I can honestly imagine Graham Jones walking about and say, well, when I was away with England, Harry Kane was doing this, like to Dwight Gale. You can say some arrogance in there.
I wonder if Gale was at West Brom then when he was there. Because
he was at Wigan. He was at Belgium with
no, he was for a while.
It was probably a while ago. He was at West Brom.
I mean, there was a comment after after the game, I think, and they asked him about Dwight Gale. I just got it up there, and I've only read a little bit. Like Bruce said, I'm sure he will be frustrated. Well, I know for a fact he is. So he's like, corrected that.
Well, that's good.
That is good. You want to
hear,
really. And he says it might be because of the system or what, but I mean, I've always thought Dwight Gale looks okay when he comes on. And he's not exactly going to do Wilson-esque, but he's going to get in the box.
I mean, like, I know I said before about the fact that Joelinton and Saint linked up well in the game, which they did, but Saint did his better work when he was out, and as we know and we talk about all the time, is when he was out in the wider positions, playing on the wing where we like to see him rather than through the middle. And given the fact that you've got Gale sitting there on the bench, not getting in the team, who is an out-and-out striker, why wouldn't you play him and put Saint on the left and put Gale through the middle?
I think there was at one point we were in the ground saying that we don't have a striker on the field.
Yeah.
We're unsure why Gale wasn't getting brought on. I think, was it Fraser that made another return?
Fraser came on for Almiron.
Murphy came on, and I thought Murphy was once again pretty direct.
Busy.
There was that one, you pick it up from the edge of our box.
Later on, like, wasn't it?
Forward, yeah, right at the end. Might be in injury time.
For someone whose confidence was absolutely shattered when he first arrived at the club.
Thanks,
And he
Stegger.
was to be fair, like, he was poor. He really was poor when he first came to the club.
I still think you saw games where he grew into the team. I remember they got beat 4-1 at Old Trafford. I think that might be one of the last games before he got dropped. But for me, that was one where Murphy really seemed to I thought, right, he looks, in spite of the result, he looks good. He looks like he's got something here. And then he didn't play. He went to West Brom.
Yeah.
Wednesday as well, wasn't he?
Wednesday.
Yeah, that's
He
where
was
he was
with
Bruce,
Bruce,
wasn't
wasn't he? Yeah.
But I thought, he's not a defender, is he? So, I mean, he's been playing wing back towards the back end last season. I think, well, I'd like to see him going forward a bit more, but then that's not how he plays it. You know,
No.
do you drop? You certainly wouldn't drop Saint-Maximin for him. You wouldn't drop Almiron for him. You wouldn't.
Well, that's what you'd have to do, wouldn't you?
So
You'd have to
you
drop
could play him.
Miggy and play him on the right of that of the 4-2-3-1, wouldn't you? I mean, like, I don't understand why we aren't playing that formation.
It's what we've been
It's
asking for.
it's when back end of last season we played it and we did well. We came getting into starting to get results. We saw on Friday when we changed to it, and I mean, to be fair, you look at that game on Friday, and if you're a neutral watching that game, it must have been fantastic to watch because both teams were just absolutely steaming forward
It was entertaining,
at any given opportunity. But it was two teams that just could kind of defend, and as it turns out, kind of bloody score. But what was happening in between of it was exciting to watch, back and forth, exciting on the break and stuff like that. But it's just it plays to our strengths playing in that formation with the players that we've got, and you
Square
think
pegs, square holes, man.
yeah,
know
just
what I mean?
let's take the players that we've got, because the players that are playing in the team could go adapt into that formation very, very easily. Longstaff's getting a good run of games. I don't think he's getting much praise on how he's improved in weeks. Again, he's not pulling up any trees, but he's definitely getting
He's
better.
been miles better
week
than he
on,
has
week
been.
on.
Miles better
So
than he has been.
a bit of game time. His fitness is coming back. Him and Hayden in the middle of that too, and then you three in the middle. Whether you go Saint left, Miggy in the middle, and then Willick, or whether you have Fraser there or Murphy,
the full team,
You're laughing at
you've
Mickey in the
got
middle there.
plenty. Stuck in the middle with you. You've got plenty of options in there, and then at the minute we've only got one option up front, which is Gale, who's not even getting the game until Wilson comes back in. So play to the strengths of the players that you've got available to you.
100% agree, man.
Steve, listen to us.
I'm gonna start winding this one down. Is there anything else which you want to touch on before we'll call it a day on this one?
don't like seeing Leeds United in lavender.
Right. Okay.
Leeds away shirt for me should either be blue, green, or yellow.
Yellow.
None of this.
Yellow for me.
Yellow.
That would have been a canny Leicester away shirt, not Leeds.
I quite like the shirt, but not on Leeds.
Yeah, exactly that.
Didn't Real Madrid have a very similar kit
Yeah,
recently?
I've had yeah. One of Ronaldo's one of his last kits for them, I believe. But the Leeds, the away kit last year was like a green and blue stripes. It was belt out. It was really, really smart. Yellow piping. Leeds.
Took you back to the Thistle Hotel days.
Very much so.
If anybody watching does want to fill the last 5-10 minutes, if you do have any questions, just
Get some
just fire
questions
away.
in. Yeah, let's have some
Steve
questions.
Bruce has said though that he's, after the way it seemed to work, changing the formation, and there was a quote, I won't get it up, but it's something along the lines of, we've always had this. It's important we have the ability to change things up. It's like, well, that's rich coming from you,
Yeah.
considering you've persevered
joke,
with
that,
this
innit?
formation for so long. And then he said again as well, just need that bit of luck. Just need that bit of luck. To be honest, Steve, it was lucky that we didn't concede 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So as much as we've got a result which he was apparently ecstatic with, like he's saying we don't have the luck.
Well, that was
You've just seen a kid sky one off from 4 yards after his mates had 2 chances in front of goal. Like, that's luck. I know it's graft and getting the blocks in, but other days they go in. Southampton, you said as well. We've had Southampton player miss from 3 or 4 yards out. I think he's getting plenty of luck.
We did have Richie hit the post as well, though. So we're having it. I think it was one of those games that could have just went either way.
I get that.
Both teams, if we could have finished better, could have won that game. But it was telling what you were just saying there about Bruce, where he thought when he was saying he was very pleased
He said he's. I'm sure he said
to get the.
I think he
get
said
the growth.
ecstatic.
So
something
I,
like
I
that.
think it was
Whereas
Daryl.
Bielsa said the complete
Yeah,
opposite.
so Daryl put the screenshot
Yeah,
in the group.
Yes.
It was on social media. I can't remember who found it, but it was on social media. With the two comparisons.
Bruce ecstatic with point, and then it was like Bielsa said not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that's and
That's what you
and
should
it's the
be
fact
saying.
that he's the away coach
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
There's a question for you, Mark, from Julie Baker, who you had the pleasure of meeting on Friday evening. Where did you meet, by the way? Old George?
George in the George courtyard.
And she says, how long were you critical?
At least until mid-afternoon Sunday, like.
So I messaged you in the Telegram
Not
group.
Sunday, Saturday. Sorry,
So
Saturday.
members of the channel, you get invited to this Telegram group. And I mentioned, because I think on Friday night you said that you were going to go out on the bike on Saturday.
Aye, that
Did you ever make it out on the
definitely
motorbike?
Absolutely not. Not a chance.
Did you make it off the sofa?
Briefly to go back to bed for a nap. No, I was in a bad way on Saturday, like, to be fair. But I blame Julie.
How long did you spend a little while with each other?
Good few hours, I think.
Did you go pop world videos?
No, didn't. We didn't actually make it to Pop World.
All right.
Remember Boom 90s bar?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
He will,
Yes.
he's 52.
Yes. It's only 10 years ago it was there. It's like a fairly recent bar.
What's it called? It's called like Stereo or something now, isn't it? Like,
Oh, no, it's
It's the
stereo.
one
Is
off-
it?
Opposite the Rose and Crown.
aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
I once got set upon in Boom 90s bar. About 20 blokes dressed as Santa.
All right.
In July.
It was all. They did that thing, when one of them lies down behind you and they push you and you fall over.
Yeah.
They did that. Made me mate.
To you?
Made me mate Phil anymore.
How many were behind? 4 of you to trip you over. Bloody hell.
Phil's a big lad. But like Phil's like, I'm not a fighter at all, so it was never in my.
Especially against
thing to go
Santa.
for them. And I was thinking, I don't want to be kicked the shit by 20 blokes dressed as Santa. So I was like, oh, very good.
That would have been the shittest sequel of
Worst Christmas ever.
the shittest sequel of Santa Claus the movie. Just basically having a fight in stereo or whatever it was.
Sounds like something out of Die Hard.
It was really good bar.
It is a Christmas film.
It is.
You're getting wrong.
You know
You're
what?
getting wrong for not speaking in your mic now.
Not too far away.
Yeah, you're getting wrong off
That's
there.
all right. Obscure
That's
me
why
with
it'll
beautiful
come out
faces,
like that. You see?
You know what it is? The thing with Bruce and Graham Jones, that we mentioned it earlier on about kind of how it was Richie Jones and Bruce. I've never known a manager, and this might probably is a little bit sympathetic to Bruce. I've never known a manager whose interactions with his team or his coaching staff have been scrutinised as much as Bruce. I don't like Bruce, but
I know what you mean.
it feels like people are looking for things that might not be there with
Yeah,
it.
it's got to the point where we dislike him that much. We're going to try and find anything.
Yeah.
But I think it was the reason that magnifying glass is there is because of that fact that brought Graham Jones in the first place,
Yeah.
and it sort of brought some results for a little while, then it went bad, and then it went back to being good again. But like people are always going to think about that, and cause that's been the pub talk, the cliche things that get said. Some people always got me. I think after work that's getting done is that Graham Jones,
That's
and
it.
it's like
That's
might be right.
the big point though, because nobody ever picks up on the fact when Steve Agnew is standing on the touchline giving
Yeah.
instructions to the players, when he's the one passing stuff on and talking to them and
Is it
stuff
because
like
we
that.
never really see it?
You definitely do. Like, well, as you just said, he wasn't down on the touchline until
30th minute or something?
into the second half or whatever it was. So
No, it was
Was it before
13th
that?
minute.
But-
yeah.
It was really early on.
it's
One of the questions
It's
in
one of them,
is
innit?
from Paul McManus that says, what do you lads make of Almiron during the game and his dive? I'll come to you too, because you watched it on
His dive?
television.
Is that what he got booked for?
I can't remember a
remember
dive,
a
but
dive.
obviously in the ground it's hard to see. So if anybody wants to remind with the dive, I can't remember it, to be honest.
There was one where he went over someone's foot, and he didn't. He literally went over about a foot over the
Yeah, no, I remember it now. Breaking, yeah.
He did get booked. He got booked not for the dive, but for
Protest.
Descent.
Might
It was
be
descent, yeah.
oh,
It wasn't
yes,
even. It wasn't
I
decent
remember
at all. It was
that.
terrible.
It was a bad dive. Like I
Yeah.
remember, yeah. Because he did.
Almiron's got that in his locker.
Yeah, he does. He gets.
Oh yeah.
What's annoying, what infuriates me is I've seen him get booked for diving a handful of times, and you saw Ronaldo technically dive twice at the weekend and not get any repercussions, like just kicking off. But
There's a question from Jordy USA that says, are we getting a Gallowgateshots live stream for the cat case? No.
no, thank you.
No. Sadly not.
The cat case.
I would rather eat cat shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a question that I was going to ask you.
Cat food.
I asked Roger this
Oh, going back to
that.
cat
the other
food.
night.
Oh, that.
Yeah. So I'll come to you.
I know my answer.
What's the question?
If you had to eat
Oh,
cat food, would you prefer it in gravy
Gravy.
or jelly?
Gravy. I always remember those 90s cat food, like whiskers. And you know, like when they used to cut it open, like as if they're trying to make it look delicious to us.
Yeah.
Like, and they do it with Caesar's dog food as well. Like they get a fork and be like, "Oh, M&S style
Jelly.
And you just be like,
It's just
"Oh,
awful.
Jesus Christ, what's in that jelly?"
Would you eat cat food, like pet food? Like,
Do you know?
We're not doing a live stream of that either. Like.
Here's an
Awful,
interesting fact for you. Cat food and dog food, as long as you get good quality one, are actually very highly nutritious and have better cuts of meat in it than a lot of cheaper human food that's made for consumption.
Human food.
Fucking stinks.
So
I know
I
that.
have eaten cat food before.
tuna.
Kitty cat.
Taylor went
Dreamies.
Tickles.
That's how his lass gets him in from the pub. Just shakes dreamies.
Misty. He comes in with his little bell around his neck. Lies on his back again, his belly's scratched.
It's murder getting through the flat world.
Didn't stop you twice,
two
did it?
No, when we were kids, Taylor's had a cat called Chloe. I was around him.
Called what?
Chloe.
Chloe.
It was a
Chloe.
black and white cat. And yeah, I've eaten cat food. It was chocolate though. It was white chocolate. Cat
White
food.
chocolate cat
It
food?
was basically just Milky Bar buttons, but with a picture of a cat on it.
Or was it like a Christmas?
Oh,
was
no,
it one of them
yeah,
Christmas
I've seen them,
stockings?
No.
Yo, why do you get them at Christmas? Stockings for your cats and
It's
dogs.
part
Why
of our
not?
families.
Like
Kitten,
family?
like kitten mittens.
Just
Kitten mittens?
Kitten mittens.
Yeah.
What's a kitten mitten?
A mitten for a
Mittens
kitten.
for kittens.
Mittens for kittens.
So they can walk over your table like quietly.
I'm gonna get some of them for Doris. Christ,
Doris is a dog.
I know. Can you get?
They're actually higher quality mittens than a lot of human mittens.
I've heard that. Depending on the cut that they've been made of the cloth.
Cashmere.
Right.
I'm with you, Matty. Though gravy,
Gravy.
got to be gravy.
Yeah.
Gravy or jelly.
I don't even
Is it
like.
like pineapple jelly.
I don't even like. What's it called?
Strawberry jelly.
What?
Grosvenor
Oh.
pie. You know when you get a Grosvenor pie,
They
it's got
get-
all that jelly round the outside. Oh,
Oh.
that's not for me. That.
Aye, there's no worse when you get like when you
Awful.
go to like a funeral and they have to have like the buffet afterwards and you get into one of the pies and there's just jelly in it.
Aye.
When I got married, right?
We've gone from funeral to besties weddings.
The person died at
When
my
I got
wedding.
married, I got married in Cheshire, like a
Did
hotel.
you see I was a stud?
And I was stood by the bar, and there was like a kind of staff room door at the side. Me left, I'm stood, I'm drinking, talking to Taylor, me that, whatever. And someone comes out with like this 3-tier pork pie, like massive thing. I'm thinking, some lucky bastard's got loads of meat.
It's a wedding cake.
Completely forgetting that it was my wedding. That's for me. Because I got married in Cheshire, I wanted to have like a buffet bit at night time and stuff. And I wanted to have like either a little bit of Savoy or something, or like just somewhere from the north.
From that baker's.
From away from the famous baker that sells all their meats.
I love it when we go full circle.
My mum and dad had paid for a Dixon's wedding cake. So the bottom was is a gala pie with egg in it.
And what's that? A Grosvenor?
Is that
Well, it's not a Grosvenor. It's like the square one, isn't it? It's like
You can cut any
it's
shape,
pork in
really.
it, and then it's got the egg, but it's got like all the way through, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's not like one long egg.
Are you sure?
Compressed like stretched egg.
They could
It was
just like four
Those
crack an egg into like a
crack-
long like a toilet roll tube, elongate it and squeeze it.
Right, carry on with your story.
This was many eggs.
Damn,
You sure?
In the base of the pie. I'm definitely excited.
Did you
The
slice
middle-
it into bits to see that there was many eggs?
The middle layer was a pork pie kind of sandwich with Branston pickle in the middle of it.
Oh, nice.
And the top one was just like a big scabby eye. It was lush. But I had a proper wedding cake as well, with a carrot cake and tier carrot and
You could have decorated the top
carrot
of.
cake.
You could have decorated the top tier
Which way sponge?
with Scotch eggs.
Well, I didn't know what was happening. I had no intention of doing that because I did not know about it until I saw it and then didn't realize it was mine. But
Well, that's a tip for anybody that's getting married soon, Matty.
But I mean, is this gravy? Could you dip your bread in it?
No, it's not that. It's like
It's like
Is
a thick
it just like kind of like brown jelly, basically?
yeah,
nah, it's
So
brown jelly.
brown jelly.
The choice is either
chocolate
cat
jelly,
food with
jelly,
non-fruit jelly,
transparent jelly.
transparent jelly, or brown jelly.
Yeah,
Flavored, gravy flavored jelly.
I'm going for gravy.
I think we might have to try. You know,
I'm not trying it.
I'm not eating it.
I'm allergic to
that
cats.
noise.
I'm allergic to cats, and it might.
I'll
well
tell
be
you what,
that-
right?
I'm allergic
I'll
to
tell you what,
cats as well.
I'll try cat food if Joelinton scores 5 league goals this season.
Has he scored any yet?
No.
Hence.
5 league.
Has anybody scored this season other than Saint?
He's never. He's what?
Has
No.
anybody scored for us other than
Right.
Saint?
It's
Wilson scored?
George.
Wilson scored.
Two.
George Foggin says
Scored 3.
the next Man
Two.
United video when's it coming out? We just did one with Matty before we went live there tonight.
Bet you're good at it's mine, mate.
There's another one coming out. Adam Pearson was here in the other weekend as well. He's going to come out as well. So there's a few to come.
He's going to come out.
There's a few to come.
His video is going to come
I
out.
think that's it.
Yeah.
You hope that's it?
You hope
I
that's
think
it. Dave.
that's
hope.
it.
I kind of hope.
Hope.
I think that's it. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll obviously be back next Monday. Mark's going to stag do 5-day stag do to Benidorm.
Does that mean I have to come back?
No, because he's going to be back maybe.
I'm back. I'm here in the country on Monday.
Right.
Judging on how bad I was on Saturday morning, I might
Yes,
not
man.
be in any fit state to be here on Monday night, but we'll see.
Have a what, bestie?
I was good. It was a nice note. I was going to say, have we? I know I haven't, but have you done a podcast since Roger became a dad again? Newcastle, nice news.
Yes.
Yeah, Roger was here.
Roger was
just
yeah.
Thursday,
Roger had a-
Wednesday?
Leeds preview.
Wednesday,
quite
Thursday.
substantially shorter paternity period than me.
He did. He was straight back on it.
Yeah, Roger done with preview for.
Roger didn't take the piss.
was it Leeds game. Yeah, Leeds game. He said he would also have the cat food with gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got this thing, right? You know,
Oh,
That's because he thought that you meant when you said jelly, he thought you meant like a sweet jelly, like a
No,
cranberry
So I
sauce.
told him it wasn't.
Or did he mean like a?
cranberry sauce is more sour than sweet.
Cranberry sauce jelly.
You're going to have
It's
cranberry
like that,
jelly.
like a jelly.
No, I'm talking
What's
about the
that
one
other
that you get in the
jelly?
cubes and you put the boiling
Oh,
water
like
on.
a
Like
trifle
strawberry,
jelly.
cranberry
jelly.
juice jelly. What's that?
What's that? Royal jelly. What's that made out of? Royal jelly. Because that's like a
Swans.
thing that you put on. You have it like with your dinner and that,
Jewels.
don't you? What's it called? No, is it royal jelly? Is it mint flavour?
I don't care, right? I'm
Is
stopping.
it like a mint
yeah.
jelly?
Mark, I'm stopping.
Mint flavored jelly.
I'm stopping.
Sounds
I'm
all right,
stopping.
actually.
Thanks everybody for watching tonight. Thanks everybody who has liked the video. Thanks to you, Shane, for becoming a member
Lovely lad, Shane.
this evening.
Nice
Lovely
Shane.
lad. Lovely lad.
Thanks,
Just like his
Shane
brother,
/ Sean.
Sean.
What did I start saying just there?
mint flavored jelly.
Something about jelly.
Yeah, but thanks everybody. If you do also want to become a member, you can do so. We've got more shows coming this week. You have the first episode of the United States with Shade. That has been recorded tomorrow night, so you're probably
Brilliant
looking
name,
at
that, I've got to
Wednesday.
say. Brilliant
It's a great name. Even better logo. I'm really proud of that logo.
Yeah, it was good, aye.
You've got extra time coming this week as well with Roger and Laura. You will have match previews coming.
Watford.
You've got My United. There's 2 episodes coming out this week, which will be going on early release to members as well. So that's another reason to sign up.
It's dead cheap to sign up as well.
It's $2.99 a
$2.99.
month. You can either opt for $2.99 or $4.99.
What can you buy for
Plus-
$2.99 these days?
Pint.
Cat food.
A pint. Where can you buy a pint for £3?
Weatherspoons.
Well, spoons,
Right.
I mean, we always should.
but Tories.
Tories.
Oh shit! I've done it again. I thought I was going to go to the episode without calling Tories. Thanks everybody. See you later. Enjoy your evening. We'll see you.
Don't eat cat
in the
food.
week. Don't. Yeah, unless it's with jelly.